Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today's video is all about a stock, and this stock in particular is called Lumen Technologies. Now I'm making this video on Lumen Technologies is because I believe we are approaching, if not have completed a long-term bottom here for Lumen Technologies. So what I'm going to do is analyze the chart on the higher, medium and lower time frame to show you the clues that I'm seeing on Lumen Technologies as to what may be suggesting we might be expecting a 500 to 600% move over the coming years for Lumen Technologies. It doesn't have to be a bull run, but these are the moves, these are the sustained periods of price action that we look to capitalize on key inflection points in the chart. So guys, if you like the video, give it a like. Of course, any comments, subscriptions, always appreciated. Let's get straight into the analysis. So the first thing that you'll notice is that we are charting here in the 3-month chart. So every single candle here is 3 months worth of price action, which gives us the advantage of being able to look all the way back to 1972 and 1973 when this stock came onto the market, and where we are right now. We've done a full round, full circle, roundabout here, up, down, all the way back to where we started in 1972. And just take a little zoomed in perspective here on the chart. Where are we coming back to for Lumen Technologies? You can see when the stock first came into inception, this was the key level that was being manipulated below. Sustained period of demand here before massive breakout. And look where we are right now for Lumen Technologies. We are coming right into this zone, and we've actually wicked below this zone. So one thing I want to focus on here is the lower time frame, because we're obviously on a higher time frame at a key inflection point. We're at a really key psychological level for investors who've been buying every single dump on the way down, potentially even bought all the way at the top. These investors are probably giving up, have just left the market and given up all hope on this stock as we are. Let's have a look at what percentage we are down for Lumen Technologies right now from the absolute top to the current level. We're talking about 98, 99%. These are the levels where people forget, do not even want to take notice of a stock. And these are levels where we like to capitalize on. Like with Tilray, we saw them range breaks of 40% and below. So let's jump into the lower time frame right now and take a look at what we've got going on the weekly time frame here for Lumen Technologies. So you will notice over the past few weeks we've been building somewhat of a range. That's a 70-day range that Lumen Technologies been right in between, and you can see that lower bound of that range was about $1.27. And one thing that we always look for is the range break, the big capitulation, a big deviation below the ranges. And let's take a look at the percentages that we've dropped here for Lumen Technologies. That's around 37, nearly 40%. That 40% level that we always look for them stocks to break below the range. It happened with Tilray before its bottom. It broke down below the range about 40% and then went to reclaim the range for a nice 100 to 150% move, which is what I think we could be getting here next for Lumen Technologies. Obviously, this weekly candle may come in and bring some late longs into the market, or even some late buyers. So you've got a range down here that I would expect to be manipulated in the coming weeks, where if Lumen Technologies is about to potentially just going for a final couple of drops here, get that 40%. Let's see what is 40% from that level. 40% is around that 75-cent region. So if we do come in and take this wick down here for Lumen Technologies, that 75-cent region could provide, in my opinion, one of the ultimate opportunities for a major bounce to the upside, which is why I think now is a great time to be focusing on this stock. Many people will have been focusing on this stock for the past few years thinking, oh yeah, now's a good time to invest. These are the times when these people give up. This is market psychology. These are the big capitulation candles when nobody wants to come in and buy, and when we begin to pay attention. So let me just show you this example on Tilray, the one we was talking about earlier. We had a clear range set for Tilray with big taps and big deviations and manipulations above and below. But from that lower bound range where we've got them capitulation candles, let's take a look at the percentage drop down to that lower level. Again, that's 40%. So you can see as time goes on for Tilray and Lumen Technology, you get that big capitulation candle. The weeks following are when the big market makers and the big players are building positions for them major moves back to the upside. Let's take a look at what that percentage move for Tilray was. About a 125% move. Big move in the market when people are really struggling to even get 50 or 60% in the stock market at the minute. Of course, we went to dump after that, but then big major 100% moves are what we look to capitalize on. So just bringing it back to the main focus here, Lumen Technologies, you can see a very similar setup with that declining range and a big capitulation candle. One thing I want to do here is just use the trend-based Fibonacci from high to low. If we're going to potentially get a 1-2, 1-2 to the downside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's take a look at that in Elliott wave terms. That final capitulation wave, that final fifth wave down there would potentially come in them 75-cent levels, get that 40% decline below the range. But make note, if we do keep closing weekly candles right above that 1.618, that 91-cent level, it's a really good sign. Of course, next week we could go in wick fill, then come back and close back above that 91-cent level. Make note of that. If we keep doing that, these are the signs that the market makers and the big players are filling positions like we saw with Tilray, which went on to do a potential 125% move. And take a look at where that comes back to, a really key inflection point in the chart. Major breakdown level, back test, capitulation. Would that make sense to go back to about $1.60, $1.70? Absolutely. Does anyone want to take the chance and take the risk of investing down here? No, they don't. There's a reason for that. It's always market psychology. People's fear takes over. People's emotions stop them from making potentially correct decisions. With a very easy invalidation here for Lumen Technologies, if we was to see the price fall below this range, more than 40%, let's say we fall below and we start working our way into them 73 levels, we're seeing more of a 40% decline. That can be your easy invalidation. So the risk to reward right now, sorry guys, is very good with potential. We're sort of looking at a 15% decline if you get to them invalidation levels. So not too much. The risk to reward, very good for them potential 125% moves all the way back to the top of that range. So just taking it on this lower time frame all the way back to 1972 to around that 1984 level, see a sustained period of price action, but you will notice the real bit of price action began here. You can see the real movements in the market here compared to the inefficient movements in the market here. So let's take note of the real movements in the market. Let's zoom in here and take note of where the big buyers came in before that major move to the upside. And it is this level right here for Lumen Technologies. This is where the major buyers stepped in to get them final buys done before Lumen Technologies went on to a major move to the upside. Let's take a look at this absolutely monstrous move to the upside for Lumen Technologies. Percentage wise, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let's take a look at this. We're talking over 4,000%, guys. So you're talking about big players in the market that cause these movements. Of course, everyone wants to come in and buy when things are looking good, and maybe people was able to benefit from these moves to get them final parabolic moves. But the main people who was benefiting from the moves was the people who was buying back here. So let's just take all that off the screen. Take an overview look at Lumen Technologies, and even from this perspective here, zoomed all the way out, you can see the final capitulation. It's always that final capitulation where people give up and people do not want to invest. And if we're talking about market psychology, and you've seen the market psychology cheat sheet before, look at that. Let's get that trend line stuck on there. Absolutely perfect. If we was to see Lumen Technologies complete that depression phase, go into a bit of accumulation and sort of rise back up into the market and get them $12 regions hit again, that in my opinion would be the majority percentage profit taking zone with a major 1,400% move potentially coming in the next few years. So one of those where you can just sit back, relax, maybe do a bit of DCAing right now. Of course, it's not financial advice, but spotting opportunities like this is it's not easy. Of course, it's not easy when you see the big capitulation candles and you potentially think, oh, well, what is the point? But when you've got a lot of confluence, you've got a lot of trend lines meeting the same common points here for Lumen Technologies. Let's get this spot on here. Really hard with the magnet, but let's take a look at where we are right now on that trend line. There we are. We're really close to that point being hit. So even if we was to take it up a notch, you know, we're sort of already there. So just make note, guys, we are potentially hitting a bottom here with that 75-cent level coming in for a major opportunity, but the DCA level I do think is already here. So when we're talking about key psychological levels, the big breakdown level here for Lumen Technologies is $10. Even just to return back to that level is over 1,000%, and it gets us back to that psychological level where people are talking about the market psychology cheat sheet. which I'm sure you've all seen many times. And you know, it's not as easy just to look at something like this and think, oh well, this is so easy, I bet I could capitalize on these movements down here. But just take a look at where we are right now for Lumen Technologies. We've had that big run up to the upside. We're coming now into the range breakdowns with that final capitulation, which could be that depression phase. Let's try and hover that right over there. Take a look at that. Look at where we are, guys. Just sit back, relax, let the market do the work. Of course, this is not financial advice, but spotting opportunities like this can be pivotal when looking for them 100% moves and major 1000% moves in stocks when people are not paying attention, Joe. So of course it's not financial advice. Sit back, relax, let the market do the work, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.